good. Well, here he is, Big Ten.
Severely underrated. Let's go on the board. Aftermath TV, baby. Going into the 2022 deer season, on this particular farm, there's only really 2 deer that we're looking at. One of them is a 6.5-year-old 8-point, not a big scoring deer, but has good mass. He's a bully buck. He's past his potential, and he's one that we really want to focus on getting out of there this year. The other buck is a 4.5-year-old we call a Pretty 10. He's great potential, but again, he's only 4.5. We would really like to see him get to 5.5, even 6.5, but he's a deer that's close to 160. He's a deer that I want to put my eyes on in person and make a judgment call. So, season gets here, and I've decided I'm going to target Lean-To, the 6.5-year-old. He's being consistent. Dropped velvet, and he's still sticking to his summertime patterns. He's still coming in early. He's only hitting 2 spots majority of the time on cameras. Every evening, he's in there. So opening day, I go in the evening, set up, hoping he comes in and gives me an opportunity. All right, guys. Opening day evening. Hunted deer this morning. Seen a bunch of does and fawns, nothing else. So I'm in here hunting Lean-To again. He usually hits this in the evenings and in the mornings, and hit 2 or 3 times at night. But he hasn't been here since 6 o'clock yesterday morning. So he's due to swing by here, grab a bite of corn any time now. So, I'd love to put an arrow through him opening day, baby. It'd be nice. I don't think I've ever killed a deer on opening day. So, we just got settled in. We're gonna let things quiet down and see what happens. Stay tuned. And sure enough, he pops up at the other spot on our mobile cameras. And as the season went on, this cat and mouse game for this deer kept happening. 10, 11 times he would show up at the other spot in the daylight than I was hunting. And as the rut started getting closer to kicking off, he started to disappear on us. And we had a cold front moving in, and I knew he was going to show up. So he finally shows back up, and me and Dad decide to go in after him. He sets up in the food plot where he comes all the time. I set up in my saddle right outside where I believe Lean-To's bedding at, and just hoping that one of us get the opportunity that night. Well, about an hour before dark, I have some deer all around me. I pull up the Moultrie app real quick, and sure enough, Lean-To's sitting in the food plot where Dad is at. So in my head, I know Dad's shooting him right now. I shoot Dad a text, did you get him? He replies, no. And I never hear anything else. So finally it gets dark, I get down, I go over there, pick him up, ask him what happens. And he was trying to film it, but he couldn't get the camera to focus on the deer. He said it was blurry, he didn't want to shoot him without it being on film. So we get up to the truck, I pull out my laptop, throw the SD card in, and the footage is crystal clear the whole time. We're both feeling down, irritated that it happened like that, and we just wasn't very happy about it. So the next day, I go back in there, go to set up in the south food plot, and right when I get in there, I jump a deer, look, and it's lean-to. He was bedded down 5 yards outside the food plot. Jumped him and 2 other bucks up. They took off, and little did I know at the time that that would be the last time we ever seen lean-to. A few days after that, I'm hunting the same saddle setup on the side of the ridge. Look up, and here comes the pretty 10. He's working his way on a line to me. This is the first time I've seen him in person this year, and he looks good. He's about 150 yards out in closing, gonna walk right in front of me, chip shot. And all I can think in my head is how much I'm gonna regret it if I shoot him this year. Knowing that he's 4.5, knowing he has great potential, there's no telling what he could blow up to be. I just knew in my heart I couldn't shoot him. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I pass him. He comes all the way into 30 yards, works his way through. And that was that. I decided to pass him. Well, November 3rd rolled around. I'm checking some cameras. I got on some scrapes. Pulling them up on my laptop. And buck that I've never seen before, had no history with, comes in, big body, mature deer. Immediately noticed the split on his left G2, and I immediately knew that it was a big mature deer. But again, I started going through trail camera pictures from years before. I have no idea who this deer is. Never seen him before, nothing. Now I know this buck isn't staying on us. He's hitting this scrape pretty regularly. He hits it 3 or 4 times a week, but it's all midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I know he's not living on us. It's on the very north end of this piece. Figured he was staying on the neighbors and traveling at night. Thanksgiving rolls around, and it's the Friday after Thanksgiving, November 25th. We were having a family dinner at my grandma's house, and I planned on going there. It was at noon, hanging out for a while, and then going and getting in the deer stand. Lean-to's gone. Pretty 10 I decided to pass on. So the only buck in the area that I'm willing to shoot is Russell. Well, we end up eating, hanging out, and I stay a little bit later than I planned, so I don't make it to this tree stand. I get home about dark, and I pull up my Moultrie app, and Russell was in there with a doe in daylight hours where I was gonna hunt. So immediately I'm mad, frustrated. This buck has my full attention from this day forward now. Well, as you know, he disappears. In my head, I know he's locked down somewhere with this doe 2, 3, 4 days, and I just know he's gonna be out looking for another doe. I hunt him hard for the next few days and nothing. I know he's still in lockdown, and I know it's just a matter of time. I keep telling myself, it's a matter of time. Well, the morning of the 1st rolls around. The night before, I'm trying to pick where to hunt. I got 2 spots in mind. I got a good one for both. But only one of them's kind of in the area where I know Russell's going to be at when he gets up. Well, I finally convinced myself to go in. It's rifle season. I really want to shoot this deer with my bow. So I bring my bow and my rifle in just in case. Right after daylight, I hear something, look up in the timber, I see 2 deer running back and forth. Well, then I hear something else, I look over, and the farmer is driving in right behind me, parks 100 yards behind my tree, and turns his siren on, calling the cows in to eat. So in my head, I'm frustrated, I'm mad, thinking, why am I even still sitting here? The 2 deer that were running around took off. He continues to sit there with the siren on for 30 minutes. And gets to about 9 o'clock. I don't see anything. So I'm like, screw this. I'm gonna get down, get to work, get back in here for this evening. So I strip my camera down, my camera arm down, get it put in my bag, get my bag lowered down the tree, get my gun and my bow lowered down the tree. And I was about to step down on the first step going down the tree, and I look up and I just see the sun reflecting off a deer's body up on the ridge. I throw my binoculars up, and sure enough, it's Russell. So at this point, I'm freaking out. All my stuff's at the base of the tree. He's 200 yards and closing. So I reach down, I haul everything back up the tree as fast as I can, as quietly as I can, get everything set back up, look up, I'm constantly going back and forth watching him, getting my stuff ready, finally get everything set up. At this point, he's about 150 yards coming straight in. Go to turn my GoPro on, my battery's dead. Flip my camera on, and I have 2 minutes of battery life remaining. So now I'm really freaking out. He's coming straight in. I know I'm gonna get a shot with my bow, but my camera only has 2 minutes left. What do? I really wanted to take this deer with my bow, but I knew if I risked waiting for him to come all the way in and my camera died, I couldn't shoot him. I'm constantly on my guys' backs about making sure they get shots on camera and not to shoot if they can't get it on film. So I can't turn around and shoot this deer off camera. It wouldn't feel right. So I say, screw the bow. I got my 300. I get the gun up. He's about 130 yards, but he's quartering to me. I'm shooting on the left side of the tree. My camera's on the right side of the tree. I'm in my saddle, swinging back and forth. So I get over to my camera to make sure it's on him. And now my battery light is flashing. Any second, my camera is about to die. So he's dang near facing me, quartered to hardcore. Well, I know where my gun's hitting, so I make sure my camera's focused on the deer. I swing around the tree, make sure my rest is good, take a deep breath, and I squeeze the trigger.
That's how we do it, baby. That's how we freaking do it. That's what I'm talking about. Big buck down. Oh, holy shit, boys. Whew. Whew.
That's how we do it, boys, right there. What? What? Are you freaking kidding me? Dude. Shaking, baby, shaking. Yes! Dude, 4-year dry spell. I've been passing good deer for 4 years. I had the opportunity to hunt a big high 160s deer, and neighbor shot it, so I didn't get him. But it changed my whole mindset when it came to deer hunting. And so I started passing deer that I never usually pass, just for that opportunity to harvest a big deer. Now this deer ain't gonna score a whole lot, but this is a 6-year-old deer, good mass, good eye guards, heavy. I mean, he's a damn good deer. Like, I can't wait for you guys to see him. Brought the bow and the rifle. Hadn't had this deer on camera since Saturday evening, and he showed up here where I'm at right now on camera in daylight, and he hadn't shown up since. And this morning I was trying to decide which stand to hunt, and it came down to, I knew that he was due to come back in here. I figured he was in lockdown with the doe. I knew it was a matter of time before he showed up here, because this is the only spot he shows up. And he showed up, and I just put the smack down on a giant mature Oklahoma deer with the 300 Win Mag. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, boys. I can't wait for you guys to see him. I'm gonna give it a bit, call some people, and we'll go get a look at him. All right, boys. Here he is. A freaking Oklahoma giant, dude. Almost didn't set up here at this spot this morning for him. I was gonna set another spot. Hadn't had him on camera since Saturday evening. I didn't get to hunt. He showed up on this camera in daylight hours with the doe. It's been 4 days, and I knew he was due to show up. And this morning I was about to get down, had everything out of the tree, looked up in the timber, seen the sunlight bounce off a deer's body, threw my binoculars up, and it was him. I mean, a freaking northeast Oklahoma giant, dude. Look at that deer. It's been 4 years since I shot a good deer, and I just broke the ice with him, and I couldn't be more happy or thankful. Oklahoma whitetails, man. Severely underrated. There he is. Hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys want to check us out on social media, I'll link that below. And we got some exciting episodes coming soon with some really big deer. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the next one.